vile, Joseph. You're vile.
Whatever, dude. Ready? Why is your mic like doing some cool boy shit?
Alright.
Like,
She's ready.
you're ready.
Rock a sock'em. Boo boo boo.
It's like right off rip with a song.
Yeah.
Okay. Episode, I think this is 16. Are we recording? This is like our go-to. We have to make like merchandise for like.
Are we recording?
The red dot. Are we recording on here and then the red dot?
Do you see the red dot? And then it just says yes underneath it.
It's not as good as that though.
I wish we could show them. That's so inappropriate. Happy, well, by the time you guys see it, it'll be 2 weeks post-op, but yeah, it's the 4th of July today.
Today is the 4th of July.
We're working on our days off.
Well,
but this just doesn't feel like a job. This just is like...
It's not, you know why? Because we don't get paid.
We don't get money from
it. So technically it's not a job because we don't get paid from it, but
Fair.
It is what it is.
Fair.
We are working the holiday.
We are working the holiday.
Sort of.
We're giving our... Yeah, I mean, what is this going to take? Like 30, it'll be like a 45-minute episode. And it was 45 minutes of unpaid work. No big deal.
Yeah, that's fine. I only waited for like an hour, so that's cool.
That's like nothing.
Fuck. For you, it is.
Are you doing
nothing.
anything tonight?
I think there's more fireworks in the plans for tonight.
Like you or like places?
Like me.
Oh.
At places.
Okay.
But me.
I'm going to stay home and put on comfy shorts and play Hogwarts Legacy.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds dorky.
It's a new game that came out. It's so funny you say dorky. Before we get into the episode, I got into not a debate, like they agreed with me after, but they were like, what classifies someone as a dork versus a nerd? What's your take on it?
Ooh. Didn't ever think I'd have this debate. But
I was able to give an answer right on the dot. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because I had like a drink in me, but I like came up with it and they were like, there was one word that I said that they were like, oh, this is
I would think sense. That like a nerd is more like techie with playing around with things.
Mm-hmm.
You're like building computers or something versus like a dork. Like you could dork out on anything. Like you could just dork out on movies or wrestling. Like you just dork out. So it's like ultimate fandom.
I've never heard someone say like, yeah, you just dork out. That's going to be another shirt. Just dork out.
Yeah, that's great. Just dork out. Because like I'm a dork with certain things. It's okay.
So like the word that I used and they were like, yes, this is like the perfect word for it is a dork is someone who's like quirky. Like they have like different quirks about them. Like there's like versus a nerd is like a stereotypical like nose in the books, like whatever, what they portray in the movies. But like dorks there's like something like quirky and like cute and adorable about them.
That's fair.
And they're like, yeah, quirky's the word. And I was like, yeah, I'm so smart. Okay.
Nobody steal that idea. We're patenting that idea of just dork out.
Just dork out. And then there's gonna be a Nike check mark.
We'll come up with something else. Maybe how about like the arrow?
Ooh.
Right?
I like
subtle
little
thing for the Hate That For Me logo.
I love that. I love that for us. What's today's episode, Joseph? I kind of came up with it like 5 minutes ago.
You did, and then it kind of like varied so much. Varied.
Are you becoming me?
No, it varied. But that's the way you say varied.
Varied.
But you say
varied. Varied?
Yeah, because it's an A. When you say the word very, you say very.
Very.
We very varied.
Very, very much. I love you very, very much. Yeah, today's episode is I saw a thread on Twitter and I thought it was really interesting. So I figured we could bounce off of each other for this. But like what classifies, and especially either now or when you were a kid, this thread was about when you were a kid, but what classified someone as rich in your head as a child?
Man,
I can start first.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm trying to think of like my childhood of like what things. I
had the drive here to like really think about it because I thought it was really interesting. So like as a kid, any person who had a finished basement and or had a refrigerator in their basement where they just like kept like food
Yeah.
or drinks, I was like, they're rich. And people who had like full on pantries. There was this girl that I knew from high school and middle school and elementary school, I guess. But her mom had a pantry of just full on snacks. I was like, they're rich. Rich. Just like a walk-in pantry. And there were just shelves of snacks. And I go, they've got money.
Pools were another one.
Oh, that's like an obvious for me.
Pools
I'm like,
or a pool table.
Oh, definitely rich.
Like that's, yeah. One of my friends had a pool table and a pool. Like eventually they got a pool. And I was like, this is like next level shit.
We lived in apartments growing up until I was like 7 years old. We moved like 5 times growing up. And then when I turned 7, we bought our first house. Like my parents bought their first house. And then since then, they've had one additional house since then, because then we sold it when the market.
And you moved in the same neighborhood.
And I moved in the same neighborhood 1 street over.
That's so crazy. But you hear about people doing that too, where they stay in the neighborhood and they just like the house my friend bought. The people that own that house, they moved directly behind them.
That's crazy. That's so weird.
Weird.
That's so weird.
It is.
There were other things about like summer camps, like kids who went to summer camps.
Yeah.
Perceived as rich.
Yeah.
I'm sure for you, because you've touched base on this and I saw this in the thread, but people who went on vacations versus for me, I didn't think vacations were like rich because we would go on little trips as a family. And to me, like when I was little, because I don't know, I just didn't think of that as rich because there were other things that I didn't have that I was like, ooh, they're rich, they're loaded, they got money.
I think it was like anything that was like extra. Like we went to, before they had Six Flags in Mass. Yeah. We went to Jersey a couple times. I fucking hated it.
I love the Jersey one.
God, I fucking hated
There's like little monkeys in the zoo like before it.
I don't like amusement parks, but like we did that a couple times, but like it's not that we ever really went without shit, but like we had, one parent and 2 kids in the house. Right. So it's like there wasn't really a lot of extracurriculars. Like we didn't have a fucking pool and we didn't do vacations and shit. It's a little bit difficult when there's more kids than there are parents in the house.
I mean, it was hard with just one for my parents. I think that's why I always make the joke that my parents stopped having kids because they like got it right the first time. But I really think that it was just because it's pretty expensive to have a child. So I think that's what it was for me growing up.
Maybe. I say that my parents, they fucked up the first time, so they had a second one. And then they were like, this clearly isn't working for us. We need to stop having fucking kids.
Your poor mother.
Well, I mean, they tried with John, and then they're like, oh.
John's an angel.
Let's just try again. And then they tried again, and then I came out, and they're like, this ain't it.
I feel like your mom loves John. Babs loves John.
No, of course.
Yeah.
John's especially because she moved. Now she really is
like the star child. So essentially you just have to move. Moral of the story is you just need to move.
But now there's a new star child because now there's a little baby in the mix.
So since the last episode, Joseph has become an uncle.
Yeah.
And we found out
actually we recorded that day too. I don't know what episode it was. We had found out right before we recorded.
Did we find out right before?
Because we were at Seasons.
Oh, yeah.
And we were recording, and I found out right when we left Seasons.
What's her name?
Ava
Marie.
Yeah.
Sweet little girl. Exactly what you thought it was going to be. It was going to be a little girl.
I said it the whole time. Called it. Uncle Joe called it from day one.
I called it. Bullshit. What am I? Can I be Auntie? Auntie Camilla?
No, because that would be really weird.
No.
Yeah, no.
I don't have siblings. So for me, I just take all of them as like, I'm an auntie to like some of my friends' kids. Yeah.
Well, that's another point too, where like growing up, we always had family friends that we referred to as
uncle,
aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And then they
so
weren't.
So why can't I be Auntie Camilla?
I don't know. You can.
Yeah, I can be anything I want to be.
She's gonna have a lot of aunts and a lot of uncles. She's already got 3 uncles. So, I don't know.
Who's the 2 other?
Alex's brothers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. It takes the other side, too.
You know what's funny? When they were picking names, and one of the names that I liked was Dylan, but for a girl, it was like Dylan Marie. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because it's like the initials would be DMD, like Double Movie Day. And she's like, well, no, because it would be Alex's last name. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was part of this.
He takes part in this. Yeah. He takes part in this. But people do sometimes put the mother's name as the baby's name.
Yeah.
Skylar Batz was an example.
Skylar Batz.
Yeah, she has her mama's maiden name plus her dad's last name.
Would you do that? Would you hyphen your name if you got married?
I would hyphen my name, but I
Really?
don't know if I would name my child with my last name.
With your last name?
Yeah.
As it is now?
Yeah, I definitely would hyphen though.
Yeah.
I 100% would.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, if
I'm an only child. Like, I gotta...
But if I was the guy, I'd be like...
Would you be butthurt over that?
I'd be a little semi-salt, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I made who I am without your last name.
I know, but it's like
I'm gonna keep my last name.
It's a tradition kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I do get like you're losing your last name, but you are and you're not. Like you're still who you are, but
Right.
I don't know.
So
That's
I'm
like a
gonna
guy
hyphen my
thing, though. I think that there's like some pride there with guys. That, at least for me.
Take my name. Like that's fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's just weird.
What?
Like if a guy got butthurt over it.
I don't know if I get butt hurt, but I would be a little bit like, I would never be the guy who takes, some guys take the female's last name.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, not a fucking chance.
I've seen people, like I said before, we've talked about this, but combine the two last names. So like Tedesco's Nikki's and then mine is Akbus.
So you would hyphen Akbus to
Tedesco.
Tedesco.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't combine the two.
What do you mean combine the two? You make it like
people make a new last name.
That's so fucking
So
lame.
it's like
What?
Akbesco or
well, now that you say it, it's hilarious.
Akbesco, like Tabasco.
Do you think Nick would get offended if you hyphened?
I don't think so.
No,
Nikki just doesn't care.
He's so easygoing.
He's so. It's so funny because we're like going off on a little tangent here, but I'll circle it back around. But we're both December babies. We're both Sagittariuses, and Sagittariuses are supposed to be like fire signs and whatever else. I think I'm more that. Like he's quite literally the opposite of me, which is why.
Yeah.
Like personality wise, we're opposites. But like in regards to like things that we like, I think we're like pretty similar and like exactly the same. It's just our mannerisms are so different. Like I think I'm a little more high strung and I think he's a little more chill. I think that I to some extent I'm not very type A, but there's certain things that I can be type A about. Yeah. And he's like type F. Like he just like does not care.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certain things like that. So I think we have our polar opposites. I could be like, I'm going to do this. And he's like, okay, cool. Have fun.
Yeah. He's
like,
so,
he just doesn't
just
care.
goes with the flow. Like, good for him. Good for him.
So circling back around. Sorry. This was a weird thing that I thought people were rich and it's really only like $20, but when they had a Brita filter, I thought they were rich.
Those are fairly new though, right now? I don't know.
Well, like,
but yeah, I can see your point.
Yeah, like middle school, high school, like when people had Brita filters, I was like, oh,
rich,
loaded.
You know what? What was another one? This is like dating myself a little bit, but car phone.
Oh,
that was like,
wow.
Wait, what? You have a phone in the car?
Wow.
That's
just dial
up. That's fucking rich.
There's certain things that while growing up, you just like don't, I guess now that I'm like older, I'm like, oh, not impossible for me to have like garages. We never had a garage like growing up. So for me, I was like loaded. They have a garage. But like now that I'm older, I'm like, I could get a house with a garage. Not to say that I didn't work hard for like what I have and the money and whatever else, but just like perceived as maybe, I don't know if it's because like of the way that I grew up, or were garages not as prevalent on houses back then? Like I'm trying to think. But now I feel like all houses have a garage unless you get an older house. But like all new builds, like anything.
The
like,
newer ones, sure. But like I'm trying to think like, I don't know, like
even you have a detached garage. Like it's just like
I don't know when that garage was built because this house is old, but I'm assuming that was built after because it's detached.
Probably. It was an afterthought, but like still,
Yeah,
you have a
right.
garage. It's a 2-car garage. Even better.
3.
You're loaded. 3.
But
But
who's
who's counting?
I have a semi-finished basement too. Am I getting bougie now?
Because you got floors in this place now. So like you're
Wait till the bathroom comes in.
You're kind of loaded, kid.
Oh yeah.
You're loaded.
from like my childhood standards.
The glow up. The
Yeah,
glow up
the
is real.
glow up.
Now we just have to get you a mini fridge down here, and you're
A mini fridge.
loaded.
It's in the works.
Yeah.
I
Like, can we just plug it in right there? Like, you literally could plug it in right there and have a little mini fridge where
Right.
we could stock up waters. You could have waters, Joey Delos.
Well, they have a it's kind of expensive though, but they have a Modelo mini fridge.
And you want it.
I do, but not enough for like it was like $200-$300. It's like I'm not that bougie. But yeah, we could get one. See, now that we have floors in here, there's
Yeah.
a TV.
Yeah.
The TV was here, but it's like it's coming together.
Rich.
So it's it's like a studio.
You know what? Like there's certain things where like they make it look like rich or expensive, but not really. Like I feel like an accent wall makes things look like expensive. Like, wow, like it's really nice, but it's really just a different color that you bought at Home Depot because I went with you.
You did?
I came with you.
Oh, that's right. But you didn't help, and then
No.
you bitched
Well,
about.
I offered to.
You bitched about how it looked, but it was still wet. It wasn't done drying.
Yeah, you had a few.
But
little
even this,
swatches.
like even this whole setup too, like
it looks expensive.
Well, we put
But we were really lucky for that, where we
Right.
got this for like $250.
I think so. Yeah.
So we were lucky. This whole setup with how much is a can of paint? Like $30?
Yeah, I'd say a budget like $40 for a can of paint for an accent wall.
So this whole thing was $300-ish, and these lights right here
I
are
already
on-
had those.
You had those, but they're on like paint cans. Like there's nothing that's like
Oh, yeah.
bougie about it,
No,
but it
no,
looks
no.
nice. Like there's literally, I wish you guys could see this, but there's like a box
Okay.
with another
You don't
box.
have to. You don't have to
Paint can.
exploit all our secrets.
No.
Fucking dick. But it isn't like this and that. But I already had most of this equipment.
Right.
I think
We're
the
lucky
only
with
thing we had to buy with the mics. I had mics, but they were a different. They were USB.
Right.
And these headphones, I just bought another pair like $13 on Amazon.
cheap.
So-
Can't forget your gavel.
And the gavel. But I mean, like this whole setup isn't. Well, the camera too, I guess.
Yeah.
But you
I
could
think
do something on your cell phone.
I do everything on my cell phone. Not to say like the quality would compare. It wouldn't. But like.
But there's
the
still ways
quality's-
to do it.
Yeah, the quality would still be okay where you could put it up and potentially get yourself to a place where you can make money and then buy a camera.
Right.
Not impossible.
So anyway, we're bougie now a little bit.
What are things that you have now other than this that little Joseph would be like, holy shit, I can't believe I have that.
Probably this house.
Aww.
Well, because it's like I always had it in my head to get a multifamily.
You did?
Right. Yeah. So that I don't know, like I am kind of lucky with that shit too, because even like the workout stuff I have, I inherited a lot of that shit.
Did
So-
you?
Yeah, my father had all that stuff. So
Oh,
like I had
thanks,
some
Dad.
stuff over time, but then he gave me that bench, and so most of that equipment, like the treadmill I bought, but everything else. So it's like the at-home gym, this
gotta-
little studio.
The only thing is literally, so like out there, like right past this room is the only part that like needs to be done. And it's partially because it just,
What needs to be done out there?
the floors.
Why is it? There's nothing wrong with the tile.
No. The stairs.
Oh, yeah.
The stairs need to be done. And then there's a slop sink that we have.
I've never peed in it. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't say that, did you?
No. But it's like, it's become disgusting. When I first met Joseph and saw this sink, it was like nice and clean. And then all of a sudden, he's peeing in it. Our Dunkin' coffee's going
All of
in
a
it.
sudden, now
like-
he starts peeing in it.
So it's become pretty disgusting. But other than that, like if you just saw this room, you'd be like, wow, that's so nice. And then you go to the other side and you're like, ooh, that's a little gross.
Because
But-
there's going to be a bathroom there at some point. I just don't know when. It's a little. That's an expensive.
I wonder what little Camilla would be like. Holy shit, I can't believe she has that. I don't have a house yet, so it makes it hard for me to, like, I definitely thought that I could get an apartment. I thought I would have, I mean, there's a little paper that little Camilla wrote in a time capsule that I uncovered a few years ago. and I was like 8. And I wrote that by 27 I would have a house. So I was a little off on the math on that. But little Camilla also didn't think a pandemic would happen and that all the prices and inventory would be crap. So
but it's also too like going to like college is almost necessary at this point, right? So
yeah.
Back in the day it wasn't. So a lot of people got married and had, you could get a house. You could get a job without a college degree or anything like that.
I think the coolest thing that little Camilla would be like, holy shit, is the fact that I do social media. But like,
But how would you even?
Well, so when I was in high school, middle school, I had MySpace, but I wanted to be like all those little like Jeffree Star. We talked about the Jeffree Star, those people. Like I wanted to be like that, but I didn't think I could get there because I was also very young at that point.
Right.
And then I got older, and then Instagram came to be. So I wanted to be like a little social media influencer type deal. And I thought that it would be, you know what? I just thought of it. Okay. So I thought that I would get there, and I guess like little Camilla would be like, oh, at least we're closer type deal, like closer to where we want to be. I'm not quite there yet. But there's something that's happening in November that if little Camilla like heard about that, she would be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I could like cry thinking about it. So it's not a materialistic thing. It's more experiences for me. Like I don't have anything really materialistic quite yet that little Camilla would be like, oh my God, I can't believe she has this.
Yeah, no.
I think it's experiences for me.
I think that makes sense because there's also like sponsorships and other things that you've been able to do. You've thrown
sponsored by Dunkin'. Like
that's crazy.
That's like in hindsight, it's really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
We got to remember to turn this into a reel because I grew up on having like blue raspberry colada. You made fun of me for it, but I grew up having like blue raspberry coladas. I got donuts. My favorite donut was always the powdered sugar jelly donut, which is very hard to find in certain locations now. But like I grew up on fast food and just like junk stuff of McDonald's, and we would go to McDonald's every single day. So I grew up on that. And then eventually like my taste buds evolved, and instead of my parents just getting me a blue raspberry colada, we started getting like donuts, and I wasn't really like picky anymore. And then like I always got a sausage, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Like there's things that like as I started to get older, like Dunkin' had stayed with me even to this day, clearly. So the fact that I still get to enjoy them and am sponsored by them is pretty freaking
well, then there
cool.
you go. See?
Yeah.
You're
So experiences. I made it, Mom. I made it, little Camilla.
All right, we can stop now, everybody.
I made it.
We made it.
I made it. I'm sponsored by Dunkin'.
That is cool, though.
3 years.
See, that's crazy, though.
But like not 3 full years. The first year it was a little while, and the second year was a little longer. But now this year is the full entire year.
Right.
And I hope it continues because I do just love.
Why wouldn't it, right?
I'm a catch. I wish I could.
I won't disagree with it.
I wish I could put a little Dunkin' pun in there, but I'm not quick-witted.
I wish they could make us like one more
donut so we could just keep it. You know what?
Those are such a hit.
So this is little Camilla would think that this is bougie. So when I get married, I want it to be Dunkin' themed without it being full Dunkin', and I'll explain.
Yeah,
let me explain.
Please do. Okay,
so I want the colors of the flowers to be orange. Like I've always wanted a fall wedding. Like I've wanted like Halloweeny, like that around that time. It might be a little too close where like the weather's crappy, but I want oranges and like bright colors. So like oranges and pinks. All the girls would be wearing like a rustic orange, like a rust colored dress, like silk dresses. And I want the photo donuts at the end where like we gave them away. I want them to have Nikki and I's name, and they'll be like little Dunkin', and it'll be like Nick and Camilla's wedding. Tell me that's not cute. Someone said if you don't have a Dunkin' wedding on YouTube, they like wrote it, and they're like, if you don't have a Dunkin' themed wedding, I'll be disappointed.
Well, then the pressure's on Dunkin' to re-sign
until I get married. So that'll be about 5 more years.
Wow, we'll take it year by year. Just re-up on the next one, and we'll see where it goes.
Nicholas, time's a ticking. No, I'm not like that. Pressure. You know, I'm not like that. I'm definitely not. I did want to be engaged by the time I was 30, but there's no pressure to do that. But I did want to by the time. But
that's just an arbitrary number. I mean, that means nothing.
I know. Not that I'm here. I have to say that because otherwise I'd be really freaking sad.
What do you mean?
Because like I feel like now that when I was younger, I thought like everything would be done by the time I was 27. I was like married by 25, first kid by 27.
Bro.
Like that's the way that it was going down. So now that I'm hitting 30, I'm like, I still watch Harry Potter and Disney Channel, and I play Harry Potter Xbox games, and
God, you're like
I can barely take care of
13-year-old boy.
I'm dorky. See, I'm a dork.
You are a dork.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like too much.
It's like cute though. So like,
yo. You are the fucking king of blowing your own head up. But it's cute. Nobody fucking said that.
I can barely keep alive a plant. I've been trying to keep
Bro, don't have kids, son.
Dude, I like murdered 3 plants in the past week. My basil, my cilantro, and my strawberry plant are like falling apart. It's so sad. But like, how am I expected to have a child?
Do you want kids? We've talked about this.
I don't know. I think I do. With the
I don't know, bro.
It's been a weird ride. I always wanted kids when I was younger, and I was like, I'm gonna have a few kids. I wanted to be a pediatrician, so I really just like liked kids in general. And then I hit like 21 to like 27. I was like, I don't want kids. I don't think I want kids.
Yeah.
I wasn't like definitive on it, but I was like, I don't think I want them, because I can't. The big thing for me is I can't picture myself pregnant. So I think a lot of people are like surrogacy, but like I don't know. So I'm like, I can't really picture myself pregnant. And then I got diagnosed with colitis, and apparently I can't ever say that ever again. Apparently, if you are pregnant with colitis, like a lot of women have no problems and stuff like that, and they're like, my doctor was like, don't worry, like we'll be able to like, you'll have like a smooth, but like I know how bad my body gets under stress, so I'm like super scared at this point. But I think within the past, like I would say, like my friend was saying this too, I think within the past like 4 months, like I've been transitioning to like, maybe I will have kids.
That's because your friend's having kids.
Actually,
it's like baby fever.
So a lot of it is, I think so this is gonna be like dorky, but like for the first few years of like dating Nick, like I just wasn't really sure, like because from my like relationship before that, I was around kids. Like my ex, he had brothers and sisters who were just born because his dad like remarried.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't sure if I really wanted it. It was all kind of scary, plus my stomach problem. And now that I'm like have been with Nick, and I see how he is around kids, which my ex was great around kids too, so that's nothing to say about him. Just something like has like chemically changed in me that I'm like, oh, like maybe I do. Maybe I do. I still think not yet, but like I think if I had to put like a number on it, which I wouldn't, but if I had to, I would say like I would be in like the geriatric, where technically you're like too old to have kids, of like 34, 35, but I think I would be at that point, which I think is like pretty normal for a lot of people these days.
Yeah, I don't think it's they just have to, they just treat it differently because you're
older.
You're old. You're not like 25. You're 35 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
So
I don't know, dude.
I just can't picture myself pregnant, dude. Imagine me with a belly, like, and like, dude, the second that something kicks me, I'm gonna lose it. Like I would be like, I don't know if I like this anymore.
Yeah, then it's too late. So
exactly, morning sickness. Like I don't know. It all seems like not the fun. And everyone's like, but it's so great when it comes out. And I'm like, so I have to wait 9 months for this present to come out, only for it to cry and wake me up in the middle of the night. I don't know, man.
It's nice to be able to like.
Maybe adoption might be for me.
Yeah, it's like get them when they're a little older.
So that's one of the things I said. If I didn't have kids, I probably would adopt a child that's not a baby, but maybe in their like, I don't know,
like 23.
I would do that,
bro.
But like probably like 6-7 years old. But by then they already have a lot of the personality traits already developed. So like if there are anger, like whatever issues, then you have to spend a lot of time to work through that, and you have to be willing and patient too.
Yeah, no. It's like dogs. Just get a new one, right? Don't. What? The fuck?
That's awful.
Why'd you spit all
Don't
over my
say
phone?
that.
What do you mean? If I want a dog, I don't want a used one. I want a new one. I don't want dogs.
Used.
I don't want a dog anyway.
I was gonna say you don't want dogs, but
I don't.
Used is the wrong word for that.
What do you
We're
mean?
not doing that.
Borrowed? Like it's already like
No.
something borrowed. Like if you wanted a dog, just get a new one.
No.
Then it's new.
See, this
Brand
is the
new.
reason why you can't. Like,
Why?
This is the reason why you can't.
You know,
have
every
pets.
dog at one point was a new dog. So.
You're done.
What do you mean?
You're done.
That's okay because I don't want dogs.
I was gonna say you don't want dogs or a cat, or
No.
we saw the cat debacle. So
Fucking ugh. I still can't believe that. Like, if you're gonna own animals, don't fucking abandon them.
this might be context to it. So Joseph has a duplex and a multifamily, and the people who were his tenants left a cat behind, and they left it behind in a cabinet in his upstairs, and he didn't know, and he wasn't even going to go upstairs until he was like, you know what, maybe I'll go like clean up a little bit. And he went upstairs and saw a cat that he FaceTimed me and was like, is this real? And I was like, I don't know. The fur, like, because it was like
everybody's
very
like,
dark.
oh, poke it. I'm like, I don't even want to look.
I was
at
about to. I don't remember where I was. I was out, but I was like, wait, like I'll come to you and I'll come get it.
But you gotta. The other thing is too, like, I don't know if that thing's got fucking rabes or not. Like,
no, it's a domestic house cat.
Dude, you don't
and
know.
even if
You
it
don't know
did, like you put on gloves, you put on gardener gloves,
that's not.
and you get it.
No. I called the authorities and then they came and they took it out. Okay, they did it properly.
The poor baby. Have you had any updates on her recently?
It's a him.
Him.
Yeah, he's fine. He's living his life. He's in a better spot.
He lives with your ex, right?
Bro.
Well, I'm just like, I was just saying that he lives with her, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, well, so there was another vet tech that was supposed to take him, and then that that fell through. So at least you could keep in touch if you really wanted to.
They keep in touch with the cat.
I mean, that's actually not something you would do. That's something that I would
never
do.
fucking do that.
I
But
would ask for like a couple month updates if that was me, but I know that you're different.
Yeah, no, I only I care to the extent of getting him
out of there.
out and making sure that it was in a better home. But that's
pets.
What?
If you had a dog, you were rich.
If you had a dog, you were rich.
Golden retrievers specifically.
You think so? I don't know. I guess some of the families had. Yeah, we never had pets growing up. Yeah, we didn't even have
We had a
that.
parakeet. We had 2 parakeets.
That's a little bougie.
Really?
I think so.
Parakeets are like $30.
I don't know. I feel like
if you had a bird, like a small bird like that, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe pets though. I mean,
yeah, like certain pets, like fish was like no.
But if you had a nice
the
fish
huge
tank,
one, yeah, I had a
that's
bowl.
like
One of my fish committed suicide, jumped right out of the bowl. Rude. And then I was mortified.
You know what?
He was on the ground. Found him.
I don't blame him. Really.
Rude. Ooh, flat screen TVs too.
Yeah, that and then
the only reason why I just pictured that is because my bowl was right next to my TV, and we had the big box TVs, like the ones that had like a wooden frame all around it, and it like stood up. But my uncle had like a 50-inch flat screen TV, and that was like at the time when they were like $6,000. Like they were like expensive.
Yeah, they were super expensive.
Like they weren't like what they were now. So if you had like a big TV, like a flat screen TV, or just a big TV, rich.
Plasma TVs.
Rich.
Yeah, that was rich. Another one was if you, although I don't know if that was really a rich thing, but if you had your own phone in your room, that was like a thing. Or like a cordless phone in
that's
your room.
how I felt about TVs in your room. Rich. Like you have more than one TV?
But the first TVs like me and John had in our rooms were literally like I'm not even kidding, like
this big,
a 10-inch TV. That's what we had.
My mom had one of those on the kitchen counter in the morning. I would come out to the kitchen, and it would have the news playing in this little screen this big, and it was like black and white. And she would have NBC 10, like the morning show, Katie Couric, and the rest of them. Al. What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name?
Al. Is it Roker or no?
Roker, yeah.
Okay.
on the TV, just right there, black and white, first thing in the morning. Yeah, so anyone who had like multiple
or
TVs is
multiple cars.
Oh yeah, that was a no-brainer over there.
Yeah, that's.
You know who I was like, oh, they're rich, is like, there was this one family that I was friends with. We very quickly stopped being friends, but this girl, she had like dirt bikes. And like, I was like, oh my God, I can't even picture owning a dirt bike. Like she had like the little 4-wheelers, like a little dirt bike, because they had like a trail near their house. So like naturally it would be bomb for them to have something like that.
Sure.
But I like only found out when I was older that like they struggled a lot in their family. Like her parents got divorced when they were like super young. Like I didn't know all this stuff, but in my head I was like, they have it made. They have dirt bikes and they have this big house and they have like so many cars and like she does all this stuff and she dresses so nice and she only wears Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch and like to me I was like, oh my gosh, like they have it all, only to find out that there was like a lot of internal problems that were happening within
that's usually the
marriage.
case. It's not as like rosy as it seems.
But
sometimes
you don't realize that as a
right
kid.
no
you just see like the materialistic stuff and I'm like I said, you see a girl wearing only Hollister and she wears a Hollister perfumes and that's all she had. Like I know Hollister like isn't cool anymore, but at the time it was like Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch, especially Abercrombie and Fitch. If you were like trying to get there, the stepstone for you was like Aeropostale or American Eagle, but like Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch, like you had it all.
Yeah, and then like the guys started wearing that shit too, and it was like.
Then there were like the male models outside with no shirts on, but they were like also 16 years old.
Yeah, weird. Did you watch that documentary?
I did.
That was creepy.
It was really weird, but
very creepy.
As a kid, the marketing worked, right? Like,
no, total. Well,
as a kid, I was like, they have so much money, and granted, the things were really expensive. Like a jacket for them, like a heavy duty like jacket, which granted, I mean. Comparing to what they are now, like the North Faces weren't as big as what they are now. Like a jacket that was $120 was like dumbfounded, like unheard of. Jeans that were $80, like cool. You just go to Old Navy and get like $20 jeans.
I wouldn't fucking even wear $80 jeans now. I wouldn't. I hate jeans. Period. Can we talk about that?
You don't wear jeans.
I fucking hate denim. It's the worst. It's so uncomfortable.
You only wear like sweatpants or like.
They're not sweatpants.
I call them whatever. They're jogger. The sweat.
Shut the fuck up for 2 seconds. Okay. They're like chino joggers. They're not sweatpants. Sweatpants is like
sweatpants.
No. Do you know what a sweatpant is?
Yeah.
Clearly not. I don't think you know what that material is, dude. Those are not like.
You're bougie. They're chino joggers.
Well, they're like the chino jogger type deal. You could have sweatpant joggers, but that's not what I'm wearing. I'm not wearing fucking sweatpants. Sweat shorts, however. I do wear sweat shorts.
You have a pink Nike one?
You like those, huh?
I do like those.
Those are cool. I have another one that's
you wore them to our event.
I did. Yeah. There's like a
really nice
greenish aqua one I haven't pulled out yet.
They're very nice.
Just waiting for the right time to pull those.
Anyways,
all right, we're at 38 minutes. This is
a long conversation.
This is a long conversation. I don't know if we had a very specific. We had a specific topic that just. I don't know.
We covered a lot of things. Moral of the story is, money isn't everything, and if it looks / perceives that someone has money, there may be underlying things going on. So don't ever compare yourself to another person because you never know what they're dealing with.
Oh my God.
Moral of the story.
Like, did you feel like better right now that you said that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a philanthropist.
Oh my fucking word.
I love that for me.
I'm fucking exhausted.
I love that for me.
After this.
Let's go.
Fucking diatribe that you just went on.
All right. I love that for me.
And one day we're going to get the real... We'll get the real you on camera.
Really, what Joseph just wants to say is when I was younger...
No.
Another conversation.
I'm not doing that.
You want me to do it? Because I feel like that's what you're holding on to.
That really wasn't what
I was... okay.
No, I just meant like you differently outside of the... All right.
I love that for you. All right, I need to go home.
All right, I hate that for me.
Bye. I need to go home. What do you mean the real me?
Like,
I don't think I like faked anything.
A little bit sometimes.
What, that little... I was trying to come up with a wrap-up sentence, because we did... This is going to be the one thing in a few episodes that we actually did diverge off the conversation.
Oops.